Well, cool, man. A little summer update for the people. Been pretty busy. Both of us been getting after it pretty hard, working,
Holy smokes, yeah.
trying to get prepared for the fall. Moving houses, you're moving houses and doing a bunch of home construction projects, evidenced by your shirt.
I'm preparing to move.
Getting ready.
Hopefully be getting married here in August and then moving in with Sam. Got to take all my crap and
Nice. I noticed the couch is gone.
get it in her house. Yep, sold the couch the other day.
Nice.
I've been slowly selling stuff off.
Nice. That's good.
Trying to downsize. When you do outdoor things, hunting, fishing, camping, you just have a lot of crap.
If we'd pick one, it wouldn't be so bad. It's just that we try and do all of them. That's where it gets
Yeah,
so
so August is going to be fun. It will be, but it's going to be crazy. It's kind of the worst part about, I think, being a hunter is like your summers are always just like out of control.
bad. Oh, yeah.
Trying to get ready to get everything done so you can go be out in the woods for 10 days straight and do that once or twice every month.
Yeah. I get about one a month. November is a little better for me. I could normally pack in November, but September, October, normally do one big trip.
Yeah.
Normally what works out for me. Your past several years have been about 100 days straight, it feels like.
No.
You're either home or preparing to
A
leave.
10-day, I'm pretty ready to be home after a 10-day trip.
Yeah, for sure.
But it doesn't take too long being back at the house before you're ready to get back on the mountain and suffer again.
Yep, for sure.
So,
I've been seeing you with the freeze dryer rolling. That's exciting.
well, I got the freeze dryer fired up once. I do have a bunch of steak thawing that I want to cook and strip it out and then freeze dry that.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
The enchiladas were bomb.
Were
I'm
they?
excited for those. I need to make
Sick.
another batch.
Nice.
I need to just be like throwing stuff in there. Like it's a couple extra hours to cook it and then to take care of it on the back end, which isn't too bad. It's just like slotting it in
Yeah.
and having all the ingredients, and just like making it easy instead of being like, oh, I gotta go to the store, I gotta thaw out this, But yeah, the freeze dryer is awesome. And just trying to squeeze it in. It's not always top priority, but
I feel
it
like
should be.
even doing a batch a week will set you up pretty good for the fall.
Yeah.
And it's pretty dang good. When you've shared quite a bit with me, and it's pretty awesome compared to the the commercial stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty dang good.
I need to do a batch of breakfast burritos. Kind of how I do enchiladas, where I just slice
Sick.
them up and just
Yeah, that'd be rad.
do some steak. That way I can just like, if I'm just doing something quick, I can just do like steak and ramen or burger and ramen. I got to do a bunch of burger too.
That's awesome. That's why I need to crank out some burger and bring it over and just freeze dry some burger, just to add that to my kind of backpack meals instead of the Spam. I normally do the Spam for.
You could just take my trays whenever and then just fill them up, bring them back. It just takes like 15 minutes for the freeze dryer to like get
Sick.
cooled down enough to put the trays in, and then you just.
Oh, that's sick, dude. I'll do that because I'll just crank out some burger because that's one thing that we've talked about a lot that I'd like to add to my ramen. It'd be sick you can take a little hot sauce package or something and then the freeze dried burger, throw that in with your ramen. It'd be pretty killer.
I gotta go look and see what the thawedness of the meat is in the fridge, but I'm gonna try to hopefully get something in there today.
Nice. That's awesome.
So it'll be open about Tuesday morning.
Nice. Well, cool. So, preparation for hunting season. You did some scouting. You and Trav went out and did some scouting.
Yeah, we did some scouting. We did a podcast in the truck. We're trying to figure out if it's going to be able to come out or not because the audio is being crazy. But
yeah, it gave me a hard time, so we might try your computer.
on this thing, you're supposed to end the recording. I accidentally turned my truck off, which it was plugged into my truck, which I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Sounds like it cut off a little bit of the back end of the podcast, so not ideal doing them in the truck. Probably should have thought that one through a little better, but yeah, we went scouting. Just kind of getting a lay of the land, showing Travis some of the ground. Saw some new bulls, a couple good bulls. I mean, not giants, but really nice bulls. And got some good footage laid down for this elk film we're going to be working on. Probably will make another trip out there at some point.
Nice. Get out there, stash some water or something like that. You guys got, so we ordered a 4 to 800 Sony lens. So you guys got to use that in the actual field. And it appears that you guys got some sick stuff with it, photos and video.
Yeah, we got some good stuff with it. I mean, telephoto zooms are always a little bit tricky because they're a little finickier than other lenses, right? Like you kind of need to have the right environmental conditions. It's kind of like a rifle scope. You're looking through, a very compressed amount of space. So Mirage, comes into play where sometimes it's just like, it looks like you're looking through water out there. But if you can get closer to the subject and have like, that early or late where there's less mirage happening, you can get some really sharp, crazy, good stuff.
Nice.
Pumped on the lens.
That's right.
I think it'll afford us the ability to kind of show the wildlife and show some things in a little bit better perspective than what we've been able to do in the past. I mean, the spotting scopes can do a really good job. Like, I really do like kind of phone scoping through my Leica spotter. Seems like, I mean, when you look through it versus a Swaro, like they're super comparable, but it just feels like it's better to film through for some reason. Obviously, you can get some really cool stuff through the spotting scope, but it's not quite the same as a professional camera with a professional lens.
You have control over so much. Yeah.
Behind it.
Yeah. Well, the aperture, just like if you want to blow out the background or when you want those, like when the moon looks like he's like right next to the guy on the ridge, like there's just so much more you can do with that.
There's a little bit of learning curve on what the zoom, like how far from the subject you really need to be to like get a shot that you envision in your head, So that'll take a little bit of time, but yeah, it's sweet.
That's rad.
I won't probably go on every single hunt, but
yeah, be cool to have
a lot of them. Yeah,
to have available would be sick.
Definitely the antelope hunt and the elk hunt.
Nice.
Yeah. Definitely try to film some coyotes with it at some point.
Oh man, that'll be rad.
Yeah,
for sure.
So that's in the arsenal. Scouted. Been working on the office build, so I've been redoing. The lady who lived there at Sam's house before had a pretty unique taste.
That's a good way to put it.
I think it was like she was going for kind of like a Mediterranean Tuscany vibe where it was like really thick texture on everything.
Nice.
And obviously that's not a look most people would prefer.
Not in Bozeman, Montana.
Especially if you want to like utilize wall space and put things on it. So I've had to scrape and retexture and then resand a lot of walls.
Nice.
And it's a lot of like bad construction where like the joints and the corners are not all like tight and square. And so I'm like, without rebuilding it all, I'm trying to kind of, put Band-Aids over a lot of things, which isn't ideal, or it like takes multiple steps to get it to look at least nice. I mean, it's always tough because I think when you're building anything, before it's all finished and painted, like you're kind of like, I could make it better, I could not. But once you put paint on things, it usually makes it a lot different. And then it's like, even when you get stuff in the space, you don't really notice the walls and the fine details as much. But
for sure,
it's hard to turn off the like give meter sometimes in my head and not want to do things at a high level.
Nice.
I owed Jared $1. I thought of it ahead of time, but I didn't know another way to phrase it that made sense in my head.
It's okay. It gives me I get to put a little sound effect in right there. That's great.
Next step is I got to build a bunch of like built-in cabinets for shelving.
Oh, cool.
I'll probably build one and then I'll have you come over, and I think it's going to be a lot easier if we discuss my plan and you can see one of the cabinets, because I think not having to try to get behind them, she's like, well, just make sure we can get behind them.
Yeah.
And like running it all.
Yeah.
I think it'll be way easier before I put everything in.
Nice. For the tape light.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice. Yep.
And then you can tell me if you think it's even worth doing.
Oh, it's definitely worth doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's super nice. When you have light inside of cabinets, dude, it's so nice.
Because I think the cabinet will probably start about this far off the ground, and then it'll be about a 70-inch tall cabinet of varying widths because they're, for some reason, the width between all the rafters is not the same in there. Which is whatever. Like, I'm going to be ripping all the boards anyways, so I'm going to have to be measuring everything, which kind of slows the process way down versus going somewhere and just ripping a bunch of boards and then cutting them to length. But we'll do it. Nice. But yeah, I think the way that I'll have to basically cover the face of it all will be kind of like I did in the closet, where you'll be able to put the strips behind there.
Yeah, perfect. That'll be great.
And then the bottom above the cabinet will be able to have wiring and everything to each one super easy. Nice. I think it'd be kind of cool. And then I can leave outlets.
Outside or inside the cabinets?
On the bottom, on that flat face. So you could just plug stuff in different spots. Sweet. I don't know if I'll put an outlet in any of the cabinets. Or maybe
just thinking about it, you might want to do one of the cabinets as just a battery charging bay. Yeah. And we could put a few in there. It'd be kind of sick just to have a go-to place to hit batteries. Yeah. Be rad. But we can talk about that when we get there.
So, yeah.
Also have a table saw if you need one. It's in the storage unit. We have to go get it. So
okay.
If you need one.
Might.
It's a big one, so it's
you can rip boards on.
Yeah, big stuff.
I've had Jared's other saw for 6 months probably. I'm gonna have to give that thing back with a rental fee.
Oh, nice.
Which is awesome to have friends and borrow their stuff, but you also feel bad. But then you go look at what it costs to buy one, and you're like, do I really need to spend that much money to buy one? I don't know.
That thing just sits in my garage most of the time. Before hunting season last year, the one request the wife had was to build a playhouse for the kids. Yeah. Before hunting season started, so it's I forget, it was 95 degrees, dude. I drank so many of those Element drinks. Yeah. And I just cranked out his playhouse for him in a weekend. Yeah. That's the last time it got used, and it got put back up on the shelf. Haven't touched it since, so it's okay.
So yeah, been editing an antelope rifle film that'll come out probably in October. Maybe late September.
Nice.
Our mule deer hunt from last year. A rough cut's done on that.
Loving that.
Yep.
Love that.
It turned out pretty good for we didn't even go into that hunt planning to film. Jared was like, I'm gonna bring my camera, you should bring yours. And then we just kind of started shooting photos and little video clips. Yeah. I think when we got to the trail, we were like, we should just document it. Yeah. Just see what happens. And I was more this will be cool for Jared. He can start learning kind of.
Oh, dude, it was great for me because I had
process, but it ended up turning it out to be. I think it'll be a good film for how much energy got put into it. Obviously, we hunted hard. We brought our cameras with us, and we turned them on and used them. But it wasn't planned.
Yeah, I was very.
It was just an adventure.
You did a good job of balancing photo and video from that hunt. I was very photo forward on that hunt because I was trying to learn. That was I had my camera for 2 weeks at that point. So I took a lot of photos, tons and tons of photos. The video I wasn't very, and then towards the back end of the hunt, I took more video. And it's just in the rough cut that I watched, so the whole front end of the hunt's all video that you took. Yeah. Because I just wasn't taking video. I wasn't thinking. I was just shooting photos constantly. But yeah, then I filled in a little bit more video towards the tail end, but it was still learning there too. So.
Yeah. That's a decade plus of doing it, so you don't have to film as much as it seems like when you're starting out, you just kind of hopefully capture the right moments. And there was so much stuff I didn't even include.
Yeah.
So.
No, that was great. Both those hunts are gonna be super sweet. And then, have we talked about what we're about the elk film? Or are we sharing all that?
No, we're gonna film our elk hunt. This will be kind of one of our biggest film projects. I think we're just kind of we'll have a lot more to touch on and talk about with that one. I think once we get into season.
Cool. Yep.
So,
but we are getting bows ready.
Yeah, just got my bow pretty dialed yesterday. So we did the bow build video, which you saw me if you watched it. I built my Lift X33. I just was using my pro comps that I'd shot and hunted with for a couple years now. Shot a bullet hole, which paper's great, but it's also not great. Which it worked good for the pro comps, but I wasn't planning on hunting with them this year. So then I finally, I don't know, a couple weeks later,
Has it been 2 weeks
got
already?
around to like
Dude, time's flying.
building arrows, and was gonna try some other arrows. I built some day 6 arrows, and then I have my Easton carbon injections, which I like a lot and hunted with them before I got pro comps. And so I shot both those for paper, and they weren't really shooting well. So I was in here dinking around trying to get my bow tuned, and I've kind of switched my grip up a little bit. Jared explained to the people why you recommended I change my grip.
So with most of the hunting bows, they're pretty reflex. So that means the grip is behind where the limbs interface with the riser. Like a target bow. So on a target bow, your grip's going to be here, and their limbs are going to interface back here. And it just makes a more forgiving setup, primarily down to the torque that it allows you to put in with your grip. Well, on hunting bows, because we're chasing speed, lightweight speed, right? Like that's what the industry's gone towards for however many years. Well, the limb interface is ahead of the grip. Like if the limbs are coming back this way, the limbs interface out ahead of your grip, and it just makes the riser more sensitive to torque. Okay, so if you are perfect every single time, if your grip is exactly the same every time, it doesn't matter how you hold the bow. But in reality, as hunters, we're not going to be shooting most likely on flat ground. We might be on our knees. We're going to be on a slope, and we're going to be tuned up if there's a big elk out there. Me, if it's a spike, I get tuned up. And there's a tendency to maybe grip a little harder than you normally do, right? And the way that we've all been taught is to have there's a low risk and there's a high risk. So most of us, we're not holding it like a pistol. We're turning our grip kind of up there, kind of like you're going to say stop to somebody, and then it's going to run across your lifeline there. Well, you have a lot more contact with the grip when it's running across your lifeline with this low wrist. My wrist would be like that with a low wrist. And what me and some friends, I think it's probably a bigger thing in the industry, but just what we've experimented with is when you turn that wrist up with the higher wrist, and you're riding in the throat, kind of in the web between your thumb and your index finger, and that's your primary interface with the bow. There's less surface area for sure, and there's less tendency to torque the grip. Again, what we're looking for is just forgiveness, right? If we're shooting on flat ground, everything's nice and calm, or if there's a big bull out there and we got funny footing in that, we just want forgiveness. And that's like, I'm always looking with torque tuning and arrow builds and all that stuff. I'm just looking when I'm not shooting my best, the arrow still finds the middle somehow, right? And that's one of those big things that I encouraged you to try with a hunting bow that just, in my experience, it gives you a little bit more forgiving setup.
Yeah.
And you went for it.
I was just like, yep, sounds great. I trust that you are telling me good information, and I switched my grip.
Yep. Yeah.
So that said, my grip is probably not super as dialed as it will be by season right now. So shooting through paper, I was chasing things around a lot. Just trying to get it in the ballpark realistically, which I ended up doing. Mm-hmm. But paper isn't really the end all be all. I mean, I've just always shot my broadheads, and if they hit with my field points, then, that's my final tune. So yesterday we went and shot the bows. I think I'm leaning towards shooting the carbon injections. They're 511 grains. That's with 125 grain broadhead, which is a pretty sweet spot for me. I feel like 480 to 510 is kind of like where I like my arrows to sit. The day 6s were like 540 something, 46, 47, which is pretty heavy. Mm-hmm. Those are going 264, and the injections were going 275.
277, I think.
277.
Yeah.
Anyways, we shot some chrono speeds because Jared got turned on to it. Jared turned me on to it. Precision cut archery, right?
Yep.
So you can basically set up your bow and arrow set up like you would a gun, and it's essentially like a ballistics calculator for your arrow.
It's like
And why is
ballistics.
that important, Jared? Because you're kind of the deep dive guy on this stuff. So
Yeah, right. So like the way that we've set up our sight tapes forever, like I shot black golds for a long times, and they have kind of feet per second. I think it's every like 1.5 foot sight tapes, right? You get your thing and you like shoot it through a chrono. It's like, oh, I'm shooting 275, so you grab the 275 one, and then you sight it in at 20, and then shoot out to 60, 80, whatever. And it's like, oh, that's not quite right. And then you grab the next sight tape, and you kind of like, it's just like a guess and check game. It's worked for a long time. What's really cool what the precision cut guys did, same thing that the applied ballistics and the other solvers have done, and they just built a math equation that takes into account, they go a little bit deeper than just your feet per second. It takes your peep the D-loop height. It takes your sight radius, which is basically from the knocking point to the where the pin is.
I think it's from the peep.
Is it peep? Oh, peep. That's right. Yeah, that would make sense. So peep to the actual pin location. And then it's taking your arrow weight and your speed.
Yep.
Right. So then it just spits out the sight tape right there, then and there, like perfect. And there's a couple different ways that you can do it. You could shoot multiple distances and then go that way. We have a lab radar.
Yep.
So Garmin Zero is great. I love that chronograph, but man, the lab radar is pretty sweet because it'll give you velocities out to, I think it's every 20 yards out to 100 yards.
Yep.
Which is super cool. So we got the velocity at the string and velocity at 60 yards.
Yep.
And then from there, the precision cut archery is able to work backwards and create a profile, just like a ballistic profile we do with our guns. It now has a profile, and it spits out perfect sight tapes. They are very customizable if you want to color them. The thing I really like, I'm shooting a 4-pin this year, and you're shooting a 5-pin. What's really cool about it is it actually gives you, there's two different ways. It'll give you the measurement. Once you get sighted in at 20, it'll give you the measurement between 20 and 30, 20 and 40, 20 and 50, which I'm doing on the 4-pin. For you, it'll do the same thing. Or you could print out a scale that you actually just hold, you cut out and set inside of your sight housing, and then you could just move your pins to line up with that. And it's wide. Like normally you're sighting in all that stuff, right? I got my dial calipers, and once I got my 20, set my 30, 40, 50, and they're perfect. And then my sight tape, threw a sight tape in there, perfect. It's been great.
The $35 a year fee was worth it for me when I heard that you could it tells you the difference between your 20 and 30 pin, your 30 and 40 pin or whatever, and you can just put your calipers in there and measure it or print it out.
Print it out. Either way, yeah.
Then I was just dinking around in there. I mean, the way that you can customize the sight tapes was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, you can build them however you want.
Yeah.
You can change the thickness of the different indentations for 1 yard. You could do it 2 yards, 2.5 yard increments. You can shift things over and back. You can highlight sections. Like you can build it
so
essentially exactly how you want, whatever your brain works well with. And then it was cool. It gave you at the very bottom of the tabs, I forget what it was called, but it'll give you I don't know what their danger zone or whatever their vital zone is, but they'll give you like a plus minus yardage air for each, like for like 30 yards. You know, you have like 3 yards of air.
I didn't see that. That's rad.
Yeah. So you can kind of see how as you get further and further, I think for like 60, it's like I need to be plus or minus like 2 yards, or like 1.7 yards.
Nice.
So it's like I only have a 3 yard window.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, 6 feet?
Yeah.
So it's like,
or 9 feet, or 3, yeah.
Yeah, 9 feet.
9 feet, yeah.
But that's not that much when you're talking about a bull elk.
A bull takes a step and you need the re-range normally.
So it really, I don't know. I don't like to tinker and get super in the weeds on this stuff, but it is cool what the program does. Again, I think practicing shoot my bow, being hopefully a good hunter, translates to more success, but it's a pretty sweet tool for people that want to nerd out on that stuff.
Dude, what's cool about it is it gets you to shooting quicker,
Yeah.
right? Because
Oh.
normally, like if you're shooting a multi-pin sight, you're spending a lot of time, and like I'm not shooting great today. I don't really feel good about my 40 and 50 pin.
Yeah.
Dude, all that's gone now. You just set it, and now you're just shooting.
Yeah.
Maybe you need the micro tune because you didn't set it right, but like you're gonna get to shooting and trusting your setup way faster. That's why I couldn't believe how quick it was, and I've seen them out there. I think they've been around for a couple of years, but man, their app is dialed, and then the website is dialed, and I'm super excited about that just because it gives us control over a bunch of stuff that we want to have control over, just like we do with our gun, and it gets us just to shooting way quicker.
Yeah.
Just super cool. So I was stoked to see that.
Yeah. So I shot my sight marks the way that Dan at Option Archery would say to set up a sight tape. So I'm going to compare what that will give me to the precision cut system and just do a little bit of testing and try to get that sight tape pretty dialed here pretty soon. So yeah, so that was cool.
How'd you feel about shooting that option sight?
I like it a lot.
Yeah.
The only thing I found was, and I'll let Dan know this too. I'm sure he probably knows by now, but there is a vertical micro adjust. It's not clickable, but the set screw, there's a little washer under it. And if you tighten that down and the washer's slid to one side, it kind of infringes on the micro adjust for the windage.
Oh, yeah.
But everything else, I mean, the way the sight's built, and I mean, it's exceptional.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I haven't hunted with it.
Yep.
But it's just cool to have that pin centered and be able to dial up to 20 or out to whatever and like flip it out if I want to shoot. Okay, this thing's bedded. I'm stocked in. I get a range. I'm going to flip it out and shoot a single pin. Or, like herd's coming. We got 5.
Yep.
And I could just run
0
and
to
gun.
60, you're good to go. Yeah.
It seems like on paper the best of both worlds. So We'll see. I'm excited. I mean, it's a little bit heavier than other options out there. But, yeah, I don't know. Bow's holding really good. I've been scraping so much texture on and drywall and that my shoulders are pretty strong right now, so I should be able to hold it up.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I don't know what broadheads I'm going to shoot yet. That's kind of the other thing I need to figure out and probably order a few different types.
So this fits into one of the questions that we've got quite a bit recently. Broadheads, arrow weight, mechanical versus fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Just talk a little bit about that on what's worked for you, what you've experienced with both, because you've killed a lot of stuff with both. What's your experience with arrow weight and fixed versus mechanical?
Oh man, I mean, I think if you're a really good archer, you can get away with a lot more than your average person. I think for most people, a fixed blade and a slightly heavier arrow, at least for elk, is probably going to benefit them because their shot quality and their arrow flight probably is not as good as someone that has a lot of experience. And I think it gives you a little bit more freedom, or not freedom, but a little bit more wiggle room on getting an arrow into the vitals.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I have pretty much have shot arrows between 460 and 560. You know, I think there was one year in Idaho, I shot an arrow that had a 300 grain broadhead fixed blade on the front end. Like that was a 600 something grain arrow.
Oh my God.
Super quiet, like shot great,
dude.
but like no range forgiveness. I killed a bull, at 30 yards in Idaho that year with it. It's obviously sliced through him like butter and was buried in a log on the other side, and the bull didn't make it far and died.
Nice.
Killed elk with expandables, fixed blades. I think my first bull was the G5 Montec. I've killed them with Grim Reapers. Killed a bunch of bears now with all mechanicals on the bear side of things. I don't know. I like to carry mechanicals and fixed blades in my quiver, and I want my bow to be able to shoot both.
Nice.
I think a fixed blade, if I know I'm going to be in tight, or I might get a frontal shot or a tough angle, I might pull that out. If it's windy, if I'm going to have a little bit longer shot, I might pull out a mechanical. I just like the flexibility to make the call in the moment in the field.
Yeah.
And I've got 6 arrows in my quiver, so I usually carry 3 expandables, 2 fixed blades, and then a field point just for shooting into the dirt.
Nice.
I want my bow to be able to shoot either.
Yep.
There's so many ways to slice and dice the arrow topic. I mean, I think newer hunters probably shouldn't shoot a super light arrow with a mechanical because you're just asking for trouble. You know, if you're torquing your bow, if you're amped up and your arrow comes out kicking and, you know, all over the place, and then it doesn't hit with all the momentum behind the broadhead, and then you have a mechanical, it's eating up energy and it didn't penetrate, you know?
Yeah.
Why do you think it didn't penetrate? Which most people aren't filming their hunts, or they don't have the wherewithal to see their arrow fly at an animal, and they don't know that. You know, it's like, it didn't penetrate. These arrows or these broadheads suck.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've seen some of my arrows come out of my bow before, and it wasn't a perfectly.
When you're seeing it, you know it's not, because like if you're seeing profile of the arrow, you should see nothing but a knock, right?
Yeah.
And if it's not that, either get the tuning or fix that grip, you know.
So I'll shoot not a handful, but 2 or 3 or maybe 4 different broadheads out of my bow, and just usually there'll be a confidence factor in one of them that I just am feeling really good about, and that'll kind of be in my back pocket as far as what I'll probably pull out.
Nice.
But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I man, for multiple years I shot VAPs and VAP TKOs, and I was always building them around 465, and shot a lot of kudu points. I shot some iron wills, shot some strikers. I think my first bowl was with a striker, the G5 striker, and but yeah. So my thing is, like, I've got my face is scrunched up or something, and I've got a pretty tight peep the D-loop height, and I just like to shoot farther. Not that I'm going to shoot at animals at over 100, but I like to be able to have clear my sight housing out further.
Yeah.
And because my tight peep the D-loop height, I normally have a hard time getting to 100. And so 2 years ago, I just decided I'm going to drop arrow weight just down to, from 465. I was just like aiming for mid 420s, and I ended up at 425. And it just picked up speed for me. I don't shoot. I also don't. We talked about this yesterday. I don't like to draw 72 pounds for my hunting bow. I'm normally between 66 and 69 pounds somewhere, and I think right now I'm on the upper end of that. But it's just easier on my shoulders when it's cold than that. And so I didn't want to pick up speed by just cranking up, shooting an 80-pound bow. Not interested in that. So I just dropped some arrow weight. And then I think I hunted with fixed blades the first year with that. And just, like I said, they kill, they penetrate. Another friend, I'm not going to throw any names out, but like another friend, like we hunted together a lot. And the kudu points don't leave a giant hole, like, at the end of the day. And so sometimes, like, if you've got a bull coming in and if he turns or whatever, then the hide on that side will kind of move back, and then you shoot a hole through that, and then when he turns and starts running again, that the hole in the hide doesn't necessarily line up with the hole in the cavity, and they're not very big holes anyways. So what we experienced, they always die, but man, some long, very faint blood trails, some real stress was kind of added to a otherwise really good situation. Recovery took longer and all that, and I just decided, man, I'm going to put bigger holes and stuff. And then that's why last year I switched to Severs, and I shot just a combination of Severs and Sever hybrids, the 1.5s. Killed my antelope and bull with them, and I was very happy with the results of it. My bull was 35-ish yards. I was a little above him, and it came down, center punched a rib, broke a rib completely in two, embedded in the offside, left a hole that I could get my fist into. I was stoked on it, right? And a lot of it comes down to what you said, is just confidence. Like and the other thing is, like, I'm not telling anybody what to do. I just know, like, oftentimes in life, like, when you have a kind of not so great experience, it'll push you hard in the other direction, right? Yeah. Pendulums swing back and forth. I don't like to go hard in the other direction, but I will kind of lean back the other way, right? And like, and what I'm getting at is, if maybe I have a bad experience with mechanical, I'll probably just go back the other way again. Maybe go a little heavier, put a fixed blade on. But right now, I'm really confident, one, in how well the mechanicals buckwind. I shot Sever hybrids last year, and I'm going to try Beast this year. I've got a bunch of friends that have good luck with them, but man, they fly really good. The wind does not blow them around as much, and at the end of the day, same thing as you. Like I will have a couple fixed blades in my quiver. If you need a follow-up shot and the thing's bedded in some grass, like I'm not going to shoot a mechanical through that. I'm going to shoot a fixed blade. So I will have fixed blades, but both of our bows are tuned to shoot all of them.
Yeah.
My field points, my fixed blades, and my mechanicals all shoot in the same group. And the only differences that I experience is like you get out to about 100 or about 80 yards. My fixed blades will hit about a yard low. Mechanicals will kind of too. They just have more wind resistance. And by 100, it's normally about 2 yards versus the field points, right? Just more wind resistance. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And then the 425, I know that's kind of on the lighter end of what a lot of guys like to talk about. There are also guys there's a little trend right now, people going back towards that light. The new Easton 5 mils, which I'm shooting, my God, those things. I've got the match ones. My God, I had an instant increase in reduction in group size, I should say, from my RIP TKOs.
Yep.
And it's not like the RIP TKOs were shooting bad, but I'm experiencing a little bit more forgiveness out of these Easton 5 mil matches. So those things are, I think they're 8.4 or 8.2 grains per inch on a 300 spine arrow. So I lost some weight on the arrow shaft versus my rips. And so then I was able to put a little bit more point weight on. And so I just got a little more point, front of center for whatever that's worth, right? Like I'm not chasing some giant FOC number, but a little bit more FOC doesn't hurt. I'm shooting 100 grain points. I'm at 425. Beast broadheads, kudu points, and field points is what I'll have in my quiver this year.
Yep. Nice. Yeah, we did a little bear shaft tuning on my bow.
Yep, that was cool.
To be totally honest, never done before. Which I'll probably do on every bow from here on out. It was just, I'd heard about it, but you shoot your field points, shoot your broadheads, they hit together. You're like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
But it was super easy. Basically just cut, not the entire fletching off. You leave the base, leave a little bit of that weight.
Yep.
And you just want a fletched arrow and a non-fletched arrow, basically, to hit essentially in the same spot. We shot it at 50 yards. And the new Matthews with the limb shift was super easy to literally just adjust the rest, adjust the cam right there in the grass at the range.
That was great.
And just a couple little tweaks. She was hitting spot on, and it's like, it's definitely a good feeling when you can shoot an arrow out of your bow with no fletchings and it hits with your fletched arrow. Obviously, the arrow flight is pretty good.
It's pretty dang good. They were within an inch at 50 yards when we were done.
So
rest for the up and down, limb shift for the left and right. The bear shaft is going to act similar to your to a broadhead, and so it just saves you. It saves your target, makes it a little easier, so you're not like sending broadheads in the targets constantly. So it makes it a little easier. And then like we are going to shoot broadheads constantly through the year, but it just makes that tuning process, in my opinion, a little faster, just because you could shoot it into your normal target, not your broadhead target.
Yep. So yeah, it was probably 3 hours to build my bow. Probably 3 hours yesterday, tinkering, shooting. I bet in another 3 hours I could feel real comfortable going hunting with that bow. So it's nice that setting up a new bow and getting everything dialed doesn't take a ton of time. It's just you got to carve out a handful of days and a few hours here and there to kind of like go through the steps.
For sure.
Fletching arrows is the worst part, probably.
That I'll just throw this out there. That new fletching jig, it's October Mountain Products, OMP, I think it is. Whew, it's like took a Bitzenberger and just like refined everything. There's notches for every degree. Like if you want to be 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, there's notches that it drops into. So it's so repeatable. Where that's what I've experienced in the past with the bits. Like you're trying to get it close, but it's like, man, I don't. Like, and I don't know. Like, if I put extra offset on there, like I would assume I'm going to get more spin. It's going to go slower. So it's like I'd always be really particular about building all my arrows at the same session. Where now it's like, oh, dude, I could just go repeat that exactly. Yeah, super easy. So that's a super cool product.
Nice.
October Mountain Products, I'm pretty sure is what it is. Super cool.
What else you got?
Let's go. Just gonna answer some questions. I've answered some of these questions for guys, but I'd just like to go a little bit deeper for them. We've got some great guys following the podcast, and really appreciative. We've been slow on getting some podcasts out these past few weeks, so I just want to
Yeah,
give
Jared.
these guys. Dude, I've tried. I've been working so much. It's just been tough. So I got a guy yesterday, a local dude. He bought a Leopold V3X HD a couple years ago. He got a new rifle, a Bergara, and he intended on practicing a bunch this summer, and then he couldn't get his scope zeroed. Sent it back. Sure enough, his problem with scope. They sent it back, put it back on, did the same thing again, sent it back. Got it back yesterday, tried again, same exact thing. It's just like there's something wrong in the scope. And unfortunately, a lot of those lighter weight scopes, like trying to throw Leopold under the bus, but a lot of those, everybody that I know that shot him has had a story similar, right? They're HD, they're Mark 5, Mark 4s. I'm pretty confident in those. But a lot of the just lighter weight, cheaper scopes are not something that I would say is bomber or something I'd rely on, right?
Yeah.
So he's looking for, he had a budget of $1,200, but what he's looking for is like what scope would we recommend for him to put on his hunting rifle that we'd have a high degree of confidence is going to be a good scope for him. And with that question is new or used, where should he buy it, whether new or used, magnification range, and what's like sometimes when you're going to compromise on price, like what are the key features you want, and where you're willing to compromise on some other features. A lot of questions there, but where would you guide him?
Dang. I don't know.
$1,200 scope budget.
I don't even know what scopes cost nowadays.
Yeah.
I know what Night Forces cost, but oof. I'd probably try to pick up a used scope if I had a budget of $1,200 and try to hit a little bit above my price range, hopefully.
Yeah.
I mean, Sniper's Hide would be a good spot, Rock Slide.
Yep.
Maybe even eBay. I don't know. I'm out of the loop, Jared, on rifle scopes, other than the little bit of research I've done for the gun build we're going to be hopefully putting together.
Yeah. So like 100%, both of us, I know that you'd agree with it as a used NX8.
Yeah.
Right. Like you're going to have whether MOA or Mills go on Rock Slide, Sniper's Hide, and you could probably, I think I've seen the 2.5 to 20s go for $1,500. So that's why I was like, man, if you could push $300 more, you get a used Night Force NX8. I would personally get a Mill C or Mill XT.
Yep.
And call it good. You can use it. You're going to rely on that thing for as long as you want. Night Force's customer service and warranty are excellent. You're likely not going to have to use it. If you do have to use it, you don't have to be if you have that scope, they're going to take care of you. So that was my initial thing. I sent them a couple links on Sniper's Hide to take a peek at. The other thing that I know a lot of, Carl talked about it a little bit, but those Maven scopes, I think there are like Rock Slide specific scopes. I think they work together to design those or spec those things out. I think you can get those things in the $1,200 range. So if you want a new scope, I'd be looking there.
Yeah.
Another thing that I would, if you're going to buy a new scope, I really like, we know Shields has an excellent return policy, right? And that's where I'm like, I asked him, I was like, did you buy that original scope from Shields? Because they'll take care of you too. I know Leopold will take care of him eventually, but he's on top of season right now. Yeah. And like trying to go through the customer service, shipping things back and forth, you can go over to Shields, say, hey, I bought this. Mm-hmm. They're going to take care of you. That's one thing I'd recommend if you are going to buy new.
Yeah, buying new from Shields is nice. Yeah, I haven't got a chance to hunt with it, but I did put a Leica, the Amplus 6, on my 6.5 Creedmoor and was actually like impressed with it, which I think those are around $1,600 new.
Yep.
And like pretty just kind of stripped down on like all the features, but like the click feel and the tracking and then the optical quality and the weight, it was actually like, I'm going to hunt with it and I'll report back with a better field vetted
Yep.
use case, but it's definitely something that I would look at.
And you got
used NX8. I mean, my last Vortex, the lightweight one, it just didn't hold zero, so I'm a little hesitant to push people that way. And then I don't really know what else. Loophole, not up to speed on their stuff. I'm sure there's some options there, but I've never had to deal with Loophole's customer service, but I have heard a couple people kind of getting pushback from customer service, not really like going out of their way too much to help guys, which is a bummer.
The tough thing, I've dealt with their customer service, but I recognize there's a very big. I had a good experience with it, but I am likely more educated than the person answering the phone, and I'm able to. I had all their questions because they have a list of questions that they're trying not to. I had all the answers to their questions, and I'm able to steer him into the decision that I want made. Right. That's not as easy for everybody that doesn't have like what'd you torque people just don't know what they torque the rings to, and because those are a lot of the questions they ask, and then it's like I already target tested, I already did all these things before I called you, right? So they did take care of me, but again, it's a little bit frustrating when you're on top of season like we are, and you're having to ship things back and forth, and it's multiple days each time. The thing I'll say about Night Force's customer service, because I sent a couple scopes back then. I've never bought a new Night Force. I've bought all used Night Force off Sniper Side. So I've sent a couple back just to have them check, to put them in their collimator, make sure everything's good. When you call in, the guy that answered the phone was the same guy that called me back and just said, hey, just want to let you know what we found. Everything's good, right? It was just like on top of it customer service. I was very impressed with him.
Nice.
It was super cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Now, I imagine they have time to do that because they probably don't have to. They probably don't get as many customer service requests as just because they do prioritize bomb proofness in their scopes. I would imagine that they probably don't see as many returns.
Yeah,
I would guess.
What else? I got to do some load development for my 28 Nosler. We're gonna go visit Sierra's bullet factory and see how bullets are made at the end of the month
for that,
which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if you guys have questions, you want to know about bullets, Sierra bullets, bullet manufacturing, hit us up because we'll definitely do a podcast when we're out there. What else? What other questions you got?
So we get pretty continual questions about our Durston tents.
Yeah.
Right. So a few of the questions I'm gonna hit you with. What poles do you use to set your Durston tent up? The X-Mid Pro 1.
I bought their
the Z-Flick.
The Z-Flick.
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I forget what they weigh. They're super lightweight. They break down to pretty small.
You bought one or two of those?
I bought two of them.
Oh, cool.
Because I'm just kind of like a one trek and pull guy if I even take one.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
just bought the two Z-Flick poles to have them, and that's what I like to do. I mean, if I was really trying to just save a few extra ounces, you could cut stick out in the woods and use it, but it's like,
so
that's what I do.
So oftentimes you'll bring one trekking pole and one Z-Flick.
I'll bring two Z-Flicks.
Oh, really? Nice. Then you still have your trekking pole when you're hunting.
Yep.
Nice. So most of the time,
I don't know. It's just nice because I don't really know where I'm going to be camping. If I want to camp somewhere that's a little more exposed, I just want to really have a solid shelter and leave it and not have to mess with it and just, I don't know. That's kind of my mindset.
Yep, that's good.
I bring more. I don't usually go minimal on the stakes, and I'll usually set that thing up so I'm not worried about it if a storm blows in and I'm away from camp or something.
100%. I only bring trekking pole. I always use two trekking poles. Most of the time we're kind of moving every night. We'll set up camp, break down in the morning, then we're camping some of the locations. We have left camp in places on occasion. There's our mule deer hunt. I think we both cut sticks. To that way while we're hunting, I was like able to bring my trekking poles with me. So just speaking to that, like getting your tent set up with sticks, if you are like either going super lightweight or if you want to take your trekking poles with you, what I did, I'd like set up my trekking pole to the height and then mark it and then go find a stick and cut it there. A lot of times we are carrying some type of saw, either the Silky Pocket Boy, or you have a couple different saws that we'll bring. We use that for building big fires or whatever, but we normally have a saw on us, so we'll cut. I did that on that mule deer hunt. That way I could leave my tent and bring my trekking poles with me.
Yeah.
You do have to be careful using tents or sticks up at the top of the tent. Dyneema's pretty tough, but you do need to protect that. I remember you using your rag out of your cook set.
Yeah, like a little, you could cut like a little microfiber towel, even if you wanted, just a couple little squares to wrap it, but I'd put that over it.
Yep. It'd be smart. Like if you are planning on doing that, I just caution you guys.
Or if you have an extra pair of socks or something.
Yep. The thing I'll say about the Durston tents, I would say like it's you need to be a high end user, and all I mean by that is you're thoughtful with what you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would not recommend a trekking pole tent to anybody who's just not thoughtful, just doesn't think through stuff, right?
Yeah.
And it just takes the guy outs and all that. It's very easy for us, and it'll be easy for you as well, but you need to be thoughtful, and that's where like you don't want to just go grab a stick, jam it in there. Winds come up in the middle of the night, it works its way through from the vibration, all of a sudden your tent's on top of you, right? Yeah. It's one of those products where you need to be thoughtful in the use of it. It's not difficult, just be thoughtful. We were the winds came up pretty good on that hunt. We built little snow walls in front of them just to ease the wind on the thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing I'll caution you with it. Just be thoughtful in your use. The other question that I got yesterday actually was about the footprint of the thing's fairly large. Mm-hmm. But how big of a footprint do you need to actually set that thing?
You can set it in a crazy small spot. I mean, really, the footprint is where your sleeping pad goes.
Yep.
The rest of it will stake out in uneven terrain. Mm-hmm. You know, I used it this spring on the side of a cliff where it was just my sleeping pad width, and then I used rocks and stuff to just kind of stake it out, and a storm rolled in, and it was great. And then we used it in Idaho in some spots where we definitely didn't have a perfectly flat area for the full footprint, and so far it's worked great.
Yep. Again, you
don't have to have the full footprint of that in the vestibules to set it up. Like you can set it up in a trail if you need to.
For sure. And definitely, like, I would recommend you practice at home because the sleeping area is offset from the main body.
And that's where, like, being thoughtful with it. It's like, I know I have a Dyneema tent. I'm going to make sure there's no sharp sticks if I'm going to stake it out over brush, and I'm going to break them, or look at where I'm setting it and, like, thoughtfully place it, even though it's not going to be in a perfect situation. I'm not just going to yank it out and stake it out and yank it across stuff. You know, it's like, just look at what you're doing. 100%. Think about it and set it up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same thing for like all your sleeping pad, your sleeping bag. Like you just want to be thoughtful with all that stuff. Like the lighter weight you go, the more
I like
kind
try
of
to
delicate.
never let my sleeping pad even touch the ground out there. Like I'll blow it up laying over my tent or on my backpack, and then it'll go straight into like my. And I don't like floorless shelters. I don't know how people do that. I don't want bugs. Ants crawling on me. I don't want freaking mice getting in and chewing on my stuff. I don't want to have to bring a Tyvek sheet to lay my pad on. It's just like, I don't know why that's so popular, but I mean, I could see it for maybe, I don't know what.
Dude, I want to zip up. If it's not in the sub-freezing, I want to zip up and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Because I don't want creepy crawling on me, dude. I just want, I'm very, as silly as it is, dude, like, the grizzly bears don't bother me as much as like out on the breaks, dude. Centipedes. I don't want no centipedes crawling on me, dude.
The spiders out there are savage.
Oh man,
rattlesnake coming in.
Oh yeah,
ugh,
crazy. Yeah, I just want to get in and not think about it, and that's where like I've used the floorless shelters, and I'm trying to use it around on top of a lot of snow, and it's cold, and there ain't no creepy crawlies crawling around.
Yeah,
that's when I like it.
I wonder how many snakes we'll run into this year out bow hunting elk.
Oh, dude.
4 last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I had a few. I killed a couple rattlesnakes archery antelope hunting, and man, you crawl a lot archery antelope hunting, and it freaks me out, man, because I'm gonna go cross through some grass. I know it, and there's gonna be some rattlesnakes around. Freaks me out, dude. It's like getting a freaking rattlesnake to the face while you're like crawling in on an antelope.
Fortunately, they're usually pretty good, and they rattle before you get into strike territory. But
hope so.
At least there'll be 3 of us out there.
Yeah. So you have a 1 in 3 chance of being the one getting bit.
Yeah, you guys can carry me back to the truck.
Nice. Dude, I'm gonna push that button. We're gonna fly you out of there
Screw that. We're gonna walk back to the truck.
with the rattlesnake bite.
Yeah.
Bro. It's like
It'll be all right.
It's gonna be melting away your skin.
No,
dude.
it's not.
That's what it does. It literally like
I
eats your
don't
skin away.
know. That's a good story.
I don't know anybody that's actually been bit by one, so I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I'm pretty. Me and the rattlesnakes are homies.
Are you?
Yeah.
Dude,
I like them even though I don't, It's kind of the same with grizzly bears. I like that they're out there, but I
Yeah.
don't like to run into them.
For
Same
sure.
with rattlesnakes.
yeah.
They're cool. I like seeing them sometimes.
Dude, you know that dude Robbie that we met? That dude's really friends with snake. He goes, catches every rattlesnake he finds, and he just like plays with it and sets it free. He is way too comfortable with snakes for me, dude.
Yeah. I'm not really into that, but some people are snake freaks.
Yeah, he is so comfortable with them. It blew me away. I showed you that video. I don't know what it was, Gardner steak or whatever. It's 4th of July. Yeah, and he's just like, the rest of us were like, oh, I don't think it's, and he just like
here.
picks it up and he drinking his beer and just like hanging out with the snake. Oh, he's super comfortable, dude.
It is fun kind of playing with snakes if you know they're safe.
Yeah,
But
for sure. I liked it because he gave that snake to my kids. And my kids are super comfortable. I don't want my kids to be all freaked out about it. So they're all just like, dude, wrapping around their necks and so I'm like, prefer you don't get bit in the face. But yeah, Robbie's savage. I'll have to get him on here and talk about his wolf killing. He's killed a lot of wolves.
yeah, it'd be sweet.
Yeah. But well, sweet man. You got anything else you want to chat about?
We did film a weekend of some fishing.
Oh, nice. How'd that go?
It was good. Wade fished the first day. Hired this younger guy here from Bozeman, Ben Caden. Super solid dude.
Awesome.
I think he did a good job for just, there's always like, if you've never worked with anyone, there's kind of like, it takes a little bit to kind of feel the person out, understand their style, same for the film guy, kind of knowing what I'm looking for and hiring him. I mean, it's always fun to have just talked to someone on the internet and then they show up at your house like, okay, we're going to hang out for 3 days,
Yeah.
like nonstop. Let's go. Which he was good. Time code 59, $2.
Dude, you're at $2 now.
So the first day we wade fished, I kind of beat up on him. There was just a really good window of streamer fishing
Nice.
from like 11 to 4 or 5. And I don't know, I probably caught at least 20 fish that day.
Nice.
So hopefully there's some good footage in there. And then Matt Lacko showed up. We floated the next day. Water was kind of high and some moss in the water. We got a ton of like chases and looks on the streamer.
Mm.
They weren't really eating dries and we're not going to nymph.
just got to slip that in there every time.
So we fished our butts off. We did 2 different floats. It was tough. Matt caught 2 really good rainbows.
Nice.
I kind of banged off a handful of browns in the evening. Nothing giant. Matt's 2 rainbows were big. So we got some fish off the boat, and then we kind of just decided to go back to wade fishing the last day. So we went and wade fished, caught some more fish. Just some nice kind of cookie cutter browns, 15 to 17 inch,
Nice.
18-inch fish.
Sick.
So we'll piece something together there for next year. That's probably kind of it. I mean, I might try to go out and hopper fish one day before the year's over.
Is that happening or?
We got a few to eat the hopper. I mean, it's kind of like hit or miss, I think. I think you go out on a day and they're just hammering it, and the next day they won't even like look at it. I feel like it's kind of like anything.
How were the hoppers out scouting?
There were quite a few. They
Were
were
they?
kind of just like small, medium size. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm curious. I don't have like a real consistent thing. I know there's years there the hoppers are real bad and there's not a lot of good grass and it might change.
It was pretty green and lush out on the prairie.
Was it? Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, we
I
drove
think-
to Minnesota, and I could not believe from here all the way through North Dakota how green it still was.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive.
And hey, it's August. We haven't even really had any fire smoke this summer.
Oh, dude,
You don't
thank
hear
God.
anybody saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
I guess the world is doing okay."
Yeah. Dude, it's great. We've had in these afternoon thunderstorms we've been having.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Hailed a
man.
little bit the other day.
Yeah, dude, I got some sweet video of my kids out there, and they're just like taking it. Dude, the hell, they were like obsessed with it. And then they only took it for so long. Then they had like when we got sleds and like put it on, but they stayed out, and it was awesome.
That's great.
It was
Uh,
cool. Yeah.
that's it. That's all I got, I think.
Sweet.
I broke an oar on the boat, and I broke a fly rod.
Really?
I've been a little clumsy lately.
How'd you break the
And
oar?
I broke a glass.
You told me about that.
Well, we were going under a low bridge, and I was just trying to crab right because there's like around bridges. There's usually good water because people are pretty safe when they row through them, right? Like they won't like kind of ride like the tighter lines or like right behind or in front of bridges. Sometimes there's just like water that's a little more tricky. And I saw a little pocket, so I wanted to get over, and so I was crabbing. So my oar is in front of me, and the water was a little murky, and I just kind of hit the bottom of the riverbed, and it kind of popped the oar up, and it hit the bridge just enough to kind
Whoa.
of put a little flex and pressure in it, and it cracked
Whoa.
the oar where the oar blade slides into the shaft and locks
Oh,
in.
crazy.
And like I rode with it for a while, but just eventually that like pressure on it just kept cracking out, and I had to
Wow.
put the my temporary or whatever, my backup oar in and rode with that. So I got to get a new oar.
Did it break every part of it, or did just one part of it where you could just replace
Just the
half of it?
shaft.
Okay.
I was talking to Dan at ProLock Oars, and we'll see what he's going to do. He wanted to hook me up. I'm still going to pay him something. But for a new set of oars, we'll see. I'm not really trying to spend too much money because I'm not going to fish a lot the rest of the year. But we've had these ones. I mean, I've had the boat for 10 years, and those
Oh, wow.
oar, like the shafts and the blades are 10 years old.
Nice.
They definitely are worn and well loved.
Nice.
But I was telling him, I was like, I kind of like to run stuff until it breaks just to see how long. You know, like that's the point of gear is to like have it for a long time.
Yeah, so-
not need to replace it. But, and then I was going under a bridge wade fishing. Under bridges is where I was breaking stuff. And I had the net, my little wade fishing net in my backpack, and it was just like sticking up, and I was leaning forward trying to get under, and I slipped, and I had my rod in my hand, and I went to put my hand down, and unfortunately I put my hand right on the rod and just snapped it.
Dang.
Thank goodness it was like pretty close to the truck.
Yeah.
And so I was able to go back and grab another rod, but
Dang. Crazy.
and then I dropped my phone the other day. I was pulling it out. You were calling me, and I was on the ladder. I pulled it out, and it fell. And for whatever reason, this All-in adapter, I think like the way it hit, like it's all shattered right here. It didn't mess up my lenses, and my phone still works. So I'm just gonna run it. But
Backside of the phone though shattered.
yeah, like
Oh,
if
gotcha.
you like this
Yeah.
part of the phone's all shattered out. And I broke that glass. I'd have just been like, okay, focus, grab it, move it.
Yeah. Rough.
Just been a little rough go. That's it.
Speaking of phone scope cases, what are you gonna run this year? Are you gonna stick with All-in or phone scope?
I don't know. The All-in is like the All-in is nicer to use in the field. I hate that I have to pull my phone out of the case to use the wide angle lens though.
I know. That's my issue, dude.
You know, with the phone scope one, I can just pull the eyepiece off real quick and use that and then snap it back on. But like the lockup on the eyepiece is a little trickier.
Yeah.
I'll probably run the All-in to start and just
Nice.
because it's like there are times where like just getting the phone on the spotter as fast as possible like makes a difference for
100%.
at least our film productions, and like even just getting footage of certain animals. 'Cause sometimes it's great to reference. It was like, he as big as I thought he was. Oh, let me like look at the footage and like, oh, like now I can look at him instead of like, oh, I got a fleeting glimpse of him.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I know a lot of guys who just, they don't phone scope anything.
Yeah.
They don't have a reference point to look back and be like, well, what was this bull? Like, how big do I think this one in front of me is? Or like just remembering what they actually saw, or for their close hunting buddies, getting to actually share their,
Yeah.
like, hey, what have you been up to? Like, show me, like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a cool story. You got any footage? No.
Yeah.
Which is like, that's fine. I get it. But most people have their phone with them, and it's
Yeah.
pretty dang easy to film through the spotter. And like, even for your own personal hunting, it's a big benefit. And then it's a cool thing to show your family or your friends. And
Dude, I will say that like on that bear we shot at in Idaho, that was so tight on time. I don't know. I was running the all in. I don't know that I would have like, it was just, that was so tight, right? Like that was one thing. 'Cause like getting the phone scope on sometimes, and then you have, when you're adjusting, it was very quick with the all in.
yeah,
But at the same time, I don't take as many photos, the photos I want to take a lot of time, because I have to pull it out of the case. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I might roll the all in with the phone scope. That Carbon Pro case, most of the time it just slips off. So I just leave that in my pocket. And then I'll just walk around with just the case. One thing that I have noticed, that Carbon Pro case blocks reception pretty bad. Both cell reception and the satellite. Because the satellite, like, you got to point your phone at it,
yeah.
and it just wouldn't work sometimes. I pull it out of the case and it would work right away. And I don't know if that carbon is blocking the signal or whatnot.
Yeah, I went with the plastic case for the phone scope. I didn't
Did
like
you?
the carbon one.
Really? Yeah. Yeah, so
But the plastic one's not quite built as good as it seems like they used to be built.
Really?
Like, it's just the hookup on like the eyepiece that clicks in, like, just isn't quite as robust.
yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot. I've seen several new products out there too, and I just haven't seen anything that is as easy as the all-in, but still let you use all your lenses.
Yeah.
Wish there was something that would pop
I
up.
mean, the MagView will let you use all your lenses,
Yeah.
but I don't like that it lets light into the
Yep.
between the phone and the
Yeah.
eyepiece of the spotter. It kind of messes up some of the footage pretty bad.
Yeah, if you have any dust on your lens, then it lights up, and
Yeah.
that's my same issue with it,
And it's a little hard to, like, it's definitely not the quickest to get lined up,
for sure.
but it's the most low pro.
Yeah,
So,
we'll see. Not sure.
hey, only two beeps. You got to go in and beep.
2 beeps.
2 beeps.
Yep, I try and put an appropriate sound effect over what the word was. I don't know.
It's going to be a couple.
That's what. I don't know if anybody notices but me, but I think it's funny, so I
No.
keep doing it.
People noticed.
Did they?
Yeah. They like it.
Who told you?
I think my brother and
Oh, really?
Samantha.
That's awesome. That's hilarious. All right. Well, cool, man. I'll let you back to sanding. I'm going to go to the storage unit. I'll get you that little giant ladder. Let you.
That'd be great.
Get
Dude,
at
my
your-
shoulders. I can't, like, hardly sleep on them at night because they'll ache.
From sanding so much?
I don't know, dude.
Bro.
I must have weak shoulders, bro. I need to get into that blue collar life.
Dude, I love it. Once you're
I've
burned
been
out
like, I've just been, my shoulders are used to this and like this and this.
Yeah.
Now I've been like, and then like texturing overhead and ceilings and, oh man.
it's going to be so exciting. You're going to get
I
burned
should
out on
have just
editing.
bought
And-
one of the sanders, the orbital sanders
yeah.
that have the shop vac hookup. Because the problem, I didn't want to use an orbital sander everywhere because it just
Oh,
dust everywhere.
Yeah.
So I've been hand sanding a bunch
Oh
of stuff
my
because it
God,
keeps
dude.
the dust down. But then it's like what you thought was going to be quick now is like, oh my goodness, this is just
Yeah.
more than I wanted it to be. But
It's going to be
Yeah.
so fun. You're going to upgrade your truck. You're getting F-350. You're going to get a job trailer and an orbital sander. You're going to be a builder next
Yeah.
year. It's going to be so fun.
hey, I think if I really needed to, I think I could do pretty good in the trades.
Oh, yeah, dude. I'll send you work tomorrow, dude. Let me know.
Like, I can build some stuff. You guys will see the new space. It's not gonna be. It'll be nice. It'll be nice. It'll be better than this place.
We're gonna have more of a dedicated podcast studio, you think, or what are you thinking?
We can. Yeah. We're gonna have to. I'm not gonna do the little room. I think would be like possible podcast zone. We'll see. We might just keep doing it in the garage.
I kind of like it, but yeah,
we got it. I got a lot of things to move to see if we have room for a dedicated podcast studio.
Oh yeah,
We're just gonna build a hut in your back corner of your yard and just be like a tool shed that you can maybe squeeze 3 people into.
Dude,
we'll just go sit back there.
After going to Minnesota and like saunaing, I was like, I really want to build a sauna. It was like, oh, it could be multi-purpose. You go in there and like sweat and do a podcast.
That'd be sweet.
It'd be kind of cool.
Might have to protect the equipment a little bit. But
oh, dude, we're not gonna bring the night. We'll just get Osmos or whatever they are. Just throw those little guys.
You just have a port through the wall that this cord comes through, and you just like. I bet these would handle at least a half an hour in the sauna.
Maybe. Have you saunaed before?
Because it's a sauna, not a steam room.
Well,
so it shouldn't be like. Well, shouldn't it be pretty dry in there?
Yeah, but you throw some water on. What's what? Have you saunaed before? Have you like
I mean, I've sauned a few times, but it's been a while.
Okay, so I've never done it. And Cal's like everything he does, he's a savage, and so he's got it at like 225.
Oh yeah.
Like never. I go in there and it's like, God, dude, it's hot. And then what's crazy, like you throw the water on and you feel this wave of heat hit you from a couple little splat. It just like makes it humid enough in there where you like feel it, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It was super cool, but I liked it, and yeah, it was fun. We did a bunch of like cycles, right? Like going to the lake, cool off, back in there. It was cool.
Nice.
I enjoyed the sauna. Sweated a bunch. So.
Yeah.
I hiked the M the other day, and yeah, it was hot. I did it like 1 in the afternoon. It was super hot.
Yeah.
Pants, boots, long sleeve, hood on, all that. Yeah, it felt good. I sweated as much there as I was in the sauna. It was so hot, and everybody else was in shorts and tank tops. And we're like, "Oh, you must be hot." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm."
That's the point.
Cooking. Yeah.
I know, heat training. I need to go. I thought about doing that. I also thought about. I want to hike Emigrant Peak.
Really nice. That's cool.
You want to do it?
Yeah, that'd be cool. I've never done it.
Be a good one.
That'd be a cool one.
Okay.
Well, cool. Sounds good. I'll get this out for the boys. Listen to. Sorry for the delay. We'll get some more coming here soon.
Yep.
Maybe I can make that one work.
We're gonna try as soon as we're done here.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Thanks, man.